We often think about food as, well, just fuel, right? What gets us through the day.
Sure, basic sustenance.
But hang on, if you really think about it, it's this amazing, complex thing.
Yeah.
It's all tangled up with culture, tradition,
No,
history.
absolutely. And identity too, both
Mhm.
personal and,
Yeah,
community identity.
that's exactly it. And food becomes um, this physical link to all those ideas that can feel a bit abstract sometimes.
That's a great way to put it. I mean, the things we choose to eat, the way we cook them, who we eat with,
Yeah,
it all tells you so much about a society's deeper values, their beliefs.
precisely.
Yeah.
And that's really what we want to dive into today. We're looking at the material we have here to explore how different cultures, well, express who they are through their food.
Yeah.
The mission, if you like, is to go on this kind of flavorful journey, and hopefully you listening will come away with maybe a richer sense of the stories bubbling away under the surface of what's on our plates.
And it goes beyond just, cool recipes, doesn't it? When you look at the bigger picture, you're tracing migration patterns,
Right.
understanding how people adapted, survived in different places. You see amazing innovation driven by necessity.
Hmm.
And ultimately, you really appreciate how food connects people. It's a powerful connector.
Okay, great. So where should we start this adventure? How about Asia? The source material points to this just incredible diversity of cuisines there.
Yeah, Asia's a perfect starting point. The sheer range is, well, staggering.
And what jumps out straight away is how ingredients in cooking aren't just about taste. They're tied into core cultural beliefs, like India, for example.
Right. The text mentions spices we know, well, turmeric, cumin, cardamom.
But it's more than just flavor, isn't it? These are fundamental to Ayurveda.
Exactly, that ancient Indian system of medicine, of healing.
So food and well-being are, like, completely intertwined. Turmeric, for instance, the text points out, its anti-inflammatory properties are highly valued in Ayurvedic practice.
Which tells you something profound about the culture, doesn't it? Food isn't just for energy, it's deeply connected to health, to therapy.
Okay, so then let's jump over to Japan. The source talks about sushi.
hmm And it emphasizes that sushi is much more than just, raw fish on rice.
No, definitely not.
hmm
It's presented as reflecting this deep respect for simplicity, for seasonality, for precision.
Like the food itself is a kind of cultural statement.
Yeah, an art form almost, with this whole philosophy behind it. Does the text connect that precision in food to other parts of Japanese culture?
That's a good question. It doesn't explicitly draw like a direct line in the source material we have,
Right.
but you can easily see the parallels, can't you? That meticulousness you often associate with Japanese crafts or art. It resonates with the care that goes into making sushi.
Yeah, that makes sense. It suggests a wider cultural value placed on mastery, on
Yeah.
being in tune with nature's rhythms.
Precisely. And then we can head to Thailand, where the whole flavor profile gets really dynamic.
Oh, yeah. Thai food known for that amazing balance, right?
Mhm.
Sweet, sour, salty, spicy.
And the source hints this isn't just accidental culinary genius.
What's the connection then?
Well, it seems to link back to a broader cultural focus on harmony, on balance in life generally.
Ah, okay.
So that deliberate mix of the four key tastes, it reflects a cultural ideal where finding equilibrium is really important, whether it's on the plate or, in life.
Interesting. So Asia weaves philosophy right into the flavors.
Okay.
Okay, let's pivot now. How about Africa? The source highlights food there as often being this really powerful symbol of community, of shared heritage.
Yes, that communal element comes through very strongly in many African cultures. Ethiopia is a great example.
With injera and wat.
Exactly. Sharing that spongy bread, injera, and the stews, a wat, from one big communal plate. It's not just practical, it's a deeply symbolic act of togetherness, of belonging.
You can really picture that, can't you? How sharing a meal builds those bonds. Okay, and then Morocco, the text mentions tagines.
Those slow-cooked stews.
What's the cultural significance there, beyond just developing flavor through slow cooking?
Well, if you think about it, that slow, patient process, it kind of mirrors the way traditions, stories, cultural knowledge are passed down through generations.
Ah, I see. Like the cooking process itself embodies history.
Yeah, almost like the flavors carry the stories. The source also gives a nod to Nigeria and jollof rice.
Right. So go into huge detail here, but jollof rice.
Oh, it's huge. Even without specifics in this text, it's widely known as incredibly significant in Nigeria. You see it at celebrations. It represents real national pride.
So just mentioning it signals how food can be a banner for cultural identity.
Exactly. Its recognized importance points to all the rich traditions and stories tied up with it, even if they aren't detailed right here.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Right. Our culinary tour moves on. Let's head to Europe. The source frames European cuisine as this blend of really old traditions and fierce regional pride.
Yeah, you definitely get that sense of history, but also how distinct local identities are often tied so strongly to specific foods. Italy and pasta, for instance.
Oh, absolutely. Pasta in Italy, it's way more than just a food item, isn't it? The source says it's like woven into the fabric of life.
Into family meals, daily routines, traditions.
And I guess the different regional pasta shapes and sauces just reinforce that connection to local identity.
Totally. They reflect local ingredients, history. It really anchors the food to a specific place and people. Okay, then there's France.
Often seen as the home of, well, high-end cuisine, right?
hmm The emphasis there, according to the source, is heavily on technique, on artistry.
Yeah, mastering those skills, elevating cooking into, well, almost an art form. Does the source give any clues about how that focus developed?
It doesn't trace the history in detail, no. But you could speculate that codifying techniques was about setting standards, creating a sophisticated, recognizable culinary identity.
Makes sense. Okay, and in Spain, we have tapas.
Ah, tapas. And the text highlights how it's designed for sharing, for socializing.
It's not just about the small plates themselves, it's the whole experience around them.
Exactly. The act of passing dishes around, trying different things together, it naturally creates this lively, interactive atmosphere. It's a culinary tradition that actively builds community, which is so central to Spanish culture.
Brilliant. Okay, final stop then. The Americas. The source presents this region as a real showcase of cultural diversity through food.
Yeah, and the big theme that jumps out is fusion, isn't it? Especially in Latin America.
Right. Dishes blending indigenous, African, and European influences. It's like history served on a plate.
The text mentions tacos, feijoada, classic examples of that mixing of traditions through migration and history.
You can practically taste the different layers of history in those foods. And then the U.S., the impact of immigrant communities seems key here.
Absolutely. The source points out how U.S. food culture is this vibrant result of waves of migration. Different groups brought their traditions and things mixed.
And we get things like Korean tacos or Southern soul food.
Perfect examples. They show that dynamic fusion, how meeting points between cultures sparked totally new, exciting food creations.
It's where traditions collide and make something new. And importantly, the source also mentions Native American corn dishes.
Yes, crucial to include that. It reminds us that the culinary story of the Americas started long, long before European contact.
Right.
Corn was and is absolutely central, even sacred, in many indigenous cultures and their foodways.
So wrapping this all up, as our journey kind of comes to an end here, the main takeaway really seems to be, well, behind every recipe, there's a story.
Yeah, and behind every ingredient, there's a journey that shaped people, communities, cultures.
And exploring all that, it lets you do more than just taste something new, right?
Mhm. It helps us celebrate all the amazing differences between people, but also see the common ground, the things that connect us all.
It feels like an active thing. You have to sort of listen to the food story, learn from it, appreciate it.
Well said. It's about active listening and learning.
So maybe a thought for everyone listening. Next time you try food from a culture that's not your own, just pause for a second. Ask, where did this actually come from?
What traditions might it be carrying?
Yeah. And what can it teach me about the people, the history behind it?
That's a really powerful question to sit with. Because, well, ultimately, when we really explore food, we're not just feeding ourselves, are we?
Yeah.
In a very real way, we're exploring the soul of a culture.